so glad you've joined us again. We're going to put the bag to the side, and all these, anything that we're studying, there's also going to be a page that you can, that has some history and some fun stuff on it, so that you can print it out to put inside your Smashbook folder on that particular subject. The first thing we're going to do is, I just wanted a little piece, and I wanted it to kind of fit the book. So I cut out, and then I wadded up off of one of the bags, and just kept making it crunchy and crunchy and crunchy, so that it became really like old-looking. Because today, the very first story I'm going to tell you is the very oldest kind of art that we have found, and it is called cave drawing. And I want to tell you the story, and there are books out there that I will reference in this video at the end. But the story goes, the way that we found the oldest cave drawings is a little boy and his grandfather did something called going spelunking. Have you ever heard of that? It's where you go into a cave and you kind of look around the cave. Well, this grandfather and his little boy went into the cave, and back in those days they didn't have really flashlights, they had lanterns, and the little boy was walking, and of course he was a little scared, and he had his lantern and he was walking, and he wanted to make sure his grandfather was still behind him, and so he looked up with his lantern, and the illumination, or the light from the lantern, hit the top of the cave, and lo and behold, all over the top of the cave were these beautiful pictures. And the grandfather, he said, "Look, grandfather." And the grandfather looked up, and he realized that the pictures actually told a story. And it was a hunter story. It was a story of cavemen going out and using spears to find food. And they ate meat, and so they were looking for animals in particular in these. And then they also had pictures of horses, and they had pictures of cows and goats and people that were hunting them. So what that told us was, first of all, when the grandfather saw them, he was amazed, and he brought everybody back, all the scientists he knew, and they tested it, and they realized it is the oldest artwork alive that we have found. And some of the things that we learned from that, what do you think we could learn from that? I think that we could learn that, first of all, we know now that they hunted, right? And we know that they worked in groups, like a family community or a community of some sort. We also know what kind of animals they had, because they drew them very, very precisely, even though they were just drawing. And we know that they were smart enough to draw it. But then we started finding more cave drawings, and what we found out were that cave drawings soon became a way that they could tell the story of what was happening in their area, so that they moved a lot, and when they moved, they left that information to the people behind. Sorry. And so that is a really cool thing that we learned. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw a cave drawing, and I'm going to use something, you can use crayons. These are something I just found that are called distressed crayons, and I think I told you about those before, but they color like butter. They're so fantastic. So remember, you're wadding up, you're making it look like the inside of a rock of a cave and making it look really old, right? So that it's kind of crinkly. And then I have to kind of straighten it out because I don't want it to get all over. And then I'm going to draw pretty much stick figures. I think I'm going to draw a horse. You could draw a horse, you could draw, what do you think that they went out and hunted? You can draw them hunting. I think I'll draw some of them hunting with their spears. And they're kind of like just little stick figures, but we know that they were hunting. And since they're hunting, I don't think they hunted horses. I think it shows that they rode horses or they watched horses. I think I'll draw a cow. So they weren't really big drawings. Well, they were really big drawings, but they weren't really detailed drawings. But they were enough that we know that they were hunting, these animals. And so that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to draw some cave drawings on this piece of paper. And when I finish it, buffaloes usually have a hump at the front, don't they? And then they have like a big head. So I'm going to have all these people running. Is it very detailed? I think we already said it is not very detailed. But it's enough that you can kind of see what's going on, right? Now, if you have chalk pastel, or if you have a lighter color crayon, let's use crayon, let's not pull out our chalk pastels yet. I am going to use a white, just so that it kind of, and I'm going to kind of very lightly, using it from the side, I'm going to kind of go over all of that, and it just kind of hits some of the highlights of where we crinkled it, so it makes it even look older. You don't have to do this. And I'm ready to put this, I think I'm going to put the word cave drawing. Well, I'll wait. I'm going to glue this in on my first page, right here. And if I had some colored stock paper or whatever, like construction paper, to make it look prettier, like some orange or something that would be earthy. So earth colors are orange and greens and browns and yellows. I would probably put those behind it just to kind of show it off. And then I'm going to print out the paper that says, that you can, that's on the, below this video, that says about cave drawings, about how they're the oldest form of art we have and why that's important, so that I can put that in there. And also it has some other ideas of little projects you could do on your own. But that's the first thing I'm going to do. Now, let me see if my hot glue gun is glued. Yeah. I'm just going to use hot glue because I don't have my other glue out. You can use your regular glue stick. Here we go. And my first cave drawing is done. It's pretty cool, huh? So we have our very first part to our Smashwork. I hope you enjoy it.